band. It's a normal smartphone, but it can we also use as a band.
在西班牙 M 到
Is this the future of snowboarding?
ये है आरसी स्पाई हेलीकॉप्टर। ये सिर्फ टॉय नहीं है, इसका इस्तेमाल जासूसी के लिए भी किया जाता है। ये फुल एचडी वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करता है और लाइव फुटेज आप अपने मोबाइल में देख सकते हैं। सिमिलर हेलीकॉप्टर का इस्तेमाल यूएस आर्मी भी करती है।
Morbid Facts, Part 215. In 1950, a birthing Soviet mother was told she had delivered a severely disabled child that doctors didn't want to show her. But in reality, she'd given birth to conjoined twins Masha and Dasha Krivashlyapova, who were removed from their mother at birth to be studied while the mother was told they had died. Soviet scientists wanted to study how one body affected the other by performing a series of experiments on them that are viewed today as medical torture. The experiments involved tactics like covering one of the twins in ice while the other twin would be carefully observed for a reaction. Similar experiments involved burning them, starving them, severely depriving them of sleep, and electrocuting them to test their reflexes. The experiments went on for 12 years before the twins were eventually sent to live out their years in a retirement home. They lived to the age of 53 until Masha suddenly died of a heart attack, but Dasha refused separation surgery. 17 hours later, Dasha died of blood poisoning from her sister's corpse.
I love you, sis, but we spent way too much time together. She would have to go.
Captured on a home security camera, looking out across a park, the stillness of the scene is suddenly broken by the appearance of a figure. It appears to be a female holding a bag. She seems to appear from nowhere, and then walks across the park. Is this a glitch in the Matrix, teleportation, a camera malfunction, or just an elaborate hoax?
Breaking news, if you live in the UK, a lot is about to change. I'm done. I'm going. Yeah, what is going on in the UK now? What is going on? As I'm sure you're aware, in England there has been a lot of changes happening all across the board since the start of the year, really. Starting off with the massive plans to scrap A-levels, meaning all of you guys are now going to have to stay in school until you're 18 doing maths and English. There's been smoking bans, vape bans, tax increases, the list goes on and on and on, to the point where the UK is now officially the second worst place on earth, apparently. Trust me, you're going to want to see the end, because this could be one of the biggest changes for a long, long time. Now, this is a big one if you're into crypto or anything like that. From April 26th, the authorities will have the power to literally seize your crypto assets and just destroy them. And you probably think, well, yeah, if you're a massive criminal and you've stolen hundreds of millions, obviously, pretty good. But no, you were just suspected to have done something a little bit wrong, you can just take all your assets. They're gone. Now this is the interesting bit that I'm sure you're going to want to hear. So I'm sure you all know who this guy right here is, Rishi Sunak. Apparently a no confidence vote could be about to be triggered, meaning a general election could be called. No, I don't even know when the last flipping general election was. It's been so long, like, I don't even know. But yeah, please let me know in the comments your thoughts on this, and as always, hit that follow button and I will keep you updated.
Imagine you've been hollering for over 10 years and the government step in and take all your crypto. That's like Debo when he snatched off Red Chain.
Don't you give him back his chain?
What chain?
Yeah, what chain?
Here are 3 random things that I will never look at the same because of what I've learned about them. I will never look at a hand air dryer the same ever again. If you want to wash your hands, all you really need is soap and water, right? Wrong. Apparently, soap only preps the bacteria to be removed, but doesn't actually remove it. It is the paper towel that removes 77% of the bacteria, which is why these things are an abomination. Next up is coffee. What a fraud. We've all been taught that coffee gives us energy, but in reality, it doesn't do that at all. Here's how coffee actually works. When we don't get enough sleep, there's this chemical that releases in our brain and tells our body that we're tired. But when we drink coffee, it blocks that chemical from being able to be released. So it's not that coffee gives us energy, it just prevents our bodies from knowing that we're tired. And lastly, public places. So you know that feeling that you get when you can just feel when someone's staring at you? Like you can feel it. Well, apparently you can force yourself to have that feeling even if you're all alone. All you have to do is focus your attention on your own neck. Do this for 10 seconds while also imagining that someone might be looking at it, and you will have that feeling that someone is looking at it, even if you're all alone.
If it was a choice to use the hand blower or the paper towels, I always use the paper towels. But that makes sense. Anybody try that focusing on their neck? If you did, let me know in the comments how that turned out. Did you feel like somebody was looking at you?
92-year-old woman gives birth to 60-year-old fetus? How does something like that even happen? And where the hell is the girl with the list? This 92-year-old woman is from southern China. One day she starts complaining of stomach pains. It's decided that it's best to take her to the hospital. It's clear that the 92-year-old woman does have swelling in her stomach, but nobody expected this. Doctors and family are thinking it's probably cancer, maybe even a tumor. While doing the ultrasound, they're stunned to see what looks to be a fetus. There are no signs of life in the fetus, and it needs to be surgically removed. Surgeons delivered a 60-year-old stone fetus. You're probably wondering what the heck is a stone fetus and how did it get there? The 92-year-old woman got pregnant about 60 years prior. She probably would have felt pregnant at some point, and then all the pregnancy symptoms would have disappeared, leading her to believe that she was no longer pregnant. Where she lived in southern China didn't have many resources, and medical care wasn't as routinely done as it is now. She more than likely experienced an ectopic pregnancy. After an egg is fertilized, it travels through the fallopian tubes and lands inside of the uterus where the red egg is. That would be a normal pregnancy. But in her case, the egg did not travel through the fallopian tube, and it would have got caught up where one of the gray eggs are at. An ectopic pregnancy is really dangerous for women. It usually causes a ton of discomfort, and the pregnancies are more than likely not viable. It's advised that ectopic pregnancies are surgically removed. In some cases, an ectopic pregnancy will go undiscovered. The baby usually perishes due to a lack of blood supply. This usually happens during the early stages of an ectopic pregnancy, and because it's so small, the body's able to break down the tissue. But in this case, the fetus was further along in gestation, and the body couldn't break it down or pass the tissue. So instead it calcified, creating this stone baby. The body usually calcifies things in order to prevent infection. Luckily, this is an extremely rare phenomena. There's only 330 known cases, and this only occurs in about 1.5% to 2% of ectopic pregnancies.
I can hear her on the phone now. Willie Earl, I'm pregnant. Willie Earl like, it ain't mine. That was over 60 years ago.
April 13th in the year 2029. This asteroid named Apophis. So we know for certain that Apophis on Friday the 13th, April 2029, it's the size of the Rose Bowl. It'll get close enough to Earth that it will dip below Earth's communication satellites. It'll be the biggest, closest thing ever to come known to come near Earth. Here's the catch. Its orbit remains sufficiently uncertain. There is an interval range where if it threads that keyhole, we call it a keyhole. It's a 700 mile range. If its orbit goes through that range, Earth's gravity will be just right, or rather, just wrong, so that it will alter its orbit so that it will hit us 7 years later.
Truth be told, he didn't want to scare the crowd, but he know, bro. That's why they've been building bunkers and shit, bro. It's in our faces, you feel me? Wake up!
I read about that particular asteroid in the 2nd grade in the Scholastic Reader, but the way they described it, they said it was going to come so close it'll be able to hit skyscrapers.
Update: the chance of a disastrous God of Chaos asteroid will hit Earth. You see this under there? The God of Chaos asteroid, the size of a football pitch. It could be hurling towards us. So you guys, we have another update on the God of Chaos asteroid. See, once in a lifetime, it will be a comet the size of Mount Everest that's heading towards Earth, and it could be visible soon. Yeah, like you're gonna be able to see it in the sky. As it makes its way closer to us, you will now be able to see it until the end of March. Yeah, it should be visible in the sky in the early evenings. Yep, it's starting to sound like this movie Don't Look Up. The comet came and, did what it did. But that's just my opinion. And to all the fact checkers, I did the fact checking for you. Look right here. All these websites and articles talking about it. But what's y'all thoughts on this God of Chaos comet? It's finna be visible in the sky until like the end of March. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments.
That's pretty odd. I can remember it was another one of these structures somewhere, but I can't remember where it was. But I think it got debunked.
Blessings, Mysteriously Mercury Part 2. This is going to be brief. So, in the same way that your pineal gland takes the fluid that comes from the claustrum, Santa Claus, and it turns it gold, Mercury can turn any element into gold, and they associated Mercury with Thoth. You know, like the Romans, their equivalent to Thoth, they called it Mercury, and the Greeks, Hermes or Hermes. And if they have pools of mercury underneath the pyramids in Mexico and the pyramids in Egypt, I'm willing to bet. Atmospheric mercury species in northern Mississippi, concentration, sources, temporal patterns, and soil-air exchange. Where were the Mississippians located again, who had a ideology and religious practices that were almost identical to the Egyptians? So if it was believed that mercury can turn any element into gold, and the source of the Egyptians' gold is still debated over, where do you suppose, if they had pools of it underneath the pyramids, where do you suppose that the Egyptians received all of that gold from? Anyhow, that's all for now. Until next time, peace.
That'd be crazy to find out all the Egyptian gold came from mercury. They constantly talk about the dangers of mercury, but I can remember mercury being around in a lot of household appliances.
Metatron's cube contains all shapes and possibilities. We started off with a hexagon, now moving to the hexagram, now moving three-dimensional to the tetrahedron Merkaba. Moving dimensional and beyond, life metaphor. Aside from max energetic flow and efficiency, it represents infinite creation flowing outward, contains the mathematical laws and principles that govern everything, how everything works and how everything is everything. Also the basis for the Kabbalistic tree of life concept, which is clearly what the smartphone/demon phone is based on. That word smart basically is the meaning for demon, by the way, which means knowledge. Demon phone. With Solomon's demon sigils as the emojis. Also you can see how the caduceus fits into the tree of life, and how the tree of life at the top is the Star of David and the cross at the bottom. Or if you look at this view, you can really see how it's the CERN tunnel. You see the line going right through the tunnel. This really ties into Revelation 9 and the bottomless pit being opened. But moving on, other shapes tie into this as well, like the elements. The four elements all pushed together make the Star of David. The atom and atom, the Vitruvian man, which is a sacred design just like the snowflake. Also the cherubim wings with the 6 wings, which palm trees are supposed to represent as the covering of the cherubim wings. That's why God wanted it carved into the temple. The mysterious squatter man symbol, which we're going to come back to at another time, kind of could resemble it. Also there's the back of the dollar bill. But really, let's focus on prana for a second. Prana, aka chi/life force, also ties in with sound and creation. Sound producing shapes, which is what language does when you speak it with your voice frequency into the invisible net. Think cymatics and frequency, which we'll be coming back to in this thread next episode. But literally shaping reality with sound. This is also related to mandalas, crop circles, and other things seen that are just a representation of sound in certain frequencies. The physical shapes they make in the field, which is where the shape of some original language characters come from, the shape they make in the toroidal field when spoken. And also why all the letters of the Hebrew alphabet can be seen in the Star of David tetrahedron. The sacred geometry here. This flower of life symbol and also the fruit of life symbol, which at different angles are the torus field, which is the infinity symbol from the side view. The flower of life, geometric perfection. Evenly spaced circles that make the shape. But ancient masters like Da Vinci and Newton were obsessed with trying to decipher the cosmic puzzle. Which brings us right into this interesting Tesseracts, Rubik Cube, Sacred Geometry, Tetris rabbit hole for a second. Last time I briefly flashed this Hexaract, which is a 6-cube, which is a 6-cube version of the 4-cube Tesseract. It's all about dimensionality and perspective. It's a higher dimension expression, but it really reminds me of the shape of a dream catcher, which is just connected ley lines in a sacred geometry grid, which has been called the net. Interesting how net or web are also used to catch stuff. But this is actually called a net right here, very specific pieces of a sacred geometry shape. This really reminds me of Tetris. Very specific pieces, types of a dodecahedron, star polyhedrons, and more. Building Tetris is tapping into something. Also, this shape is the exact shape of the feng shui crystal ball. Check it out. Also interesting related to this are names like Soma Cube and the Diabolical Cube, which means devil, by the way. What is rolling the dice maybe tapping into? Time for the reveal. Metatron's cube, Seal of Solomon, Star of David, and sacred geometry is hiding right at the center. Right at the core of the atom. The core crystal structure of many life-producing elements, and all these things I've shown you have this secret at the core. Metatron's cube is a hexagram. Hexagrams are hexagons at the core. Now check out how a hexagon is a representation of a three-dimensional cube. If you unfold the three-dimensional cube, you get the cross. The cross is at the center, and the secret that sacred geometry is trying to hide. The way out of the cube is the cross. Check out this 4D Dali cross. The Star of David and the cross together, completion of God's work, if you study the scriptures. Also on a Mazzaroth level, it is the two fish of Pisces coming together. Now as one pictured by Gemini, which is also God and man being reunited as one. Same story being told with different symbolism. Quick rabbit hole for those who say that Jesus equals death by numerology. You're partially right. Because Jesus did become death and literally became a curse and took that, so we become death and now resurrection and eternal life with him by partaking in that. He defeated it and he offers his cross to all as the escape from the Saturn Matrix cube prison. This place has been hijacked and altered to enslave, but the maker made a secret Truman Show door, the way out. That's why just like the shape of the Passover door marked by blood was a cross, you still see the cross on many doors today. Not only is the cross a door, Jesus said that he himself is the door and the way out. This also explains why some entities have an archetypal aversion to the cross. On a sacred geometry level, they're scared of the cross, but the cross is the way out. The solving of the Rubik Cube, the Diabolical Cube, the Devil's Cube Tesseract is the 4D Dali cross. See you next time for more secrets.
If an airplane's engine were to suck a person inside, what would happen? Let's find out. It has happened several times that an airplane's engine has sucked a person inside. Airplane engines, capable of lifting planes weighing 100,000 kilograms, possess such power that they can pull the largest objects towards them from even 50 feet away, whether it be a metal box, a car, or even a person. The engine has a fan at the front that draws air inside. After drawing air in, the engine ignites it, generating tremendous power that keeps the plane airborne. However, to suck the air inside, the fan at the front of the plane needs to rotate 70 times per second. In 2015, an airplane's engine sucked a person inside, leading to a malfunction in the plane. Workers were called in to fix the issue, during which one of them gave the pilot the wrong signal. The pilot thought it was a signal to start the engine and did so. While the rest of the workers ran away, one couldn't escape in time and was pulled into the engine, resulting in him being torn into hundreds of pieces.
I heard plenty of stories about people getting sucked up in jet engines. I know when I worked on jets, we used to have grab points just in case we had to hold on for dear life.
This little fly is actually way more impressive than it looks. Let me explain. Scientists at Genelia and Google DeepMind have just created the world's most lifelike virtual fly ever, and that includes an accurate skeleton, physics simulator, and an AI brain that mimics real fly behavior. This little guy can walk, fly, and even steer all by himself thanks to a neural network that takes simple commands and converts them into complex movements of a fly. And here's the best part, this technology is completely open source, so researchers or scientists can use it to create their own models of flies or whatever animal they want. So why does this matter? Well, researchers can study how the brain, body, and environment influence the behavior of an animal without ever having to step into a lab. Furthermore, this technology can be used to take gaming, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence to the next level. Imagine a video game character so lifelike you thought it was alive, or an environment so immersive you didn't know if it was real or not. And who knows, maybe one day we'll have virtual humans that can think, interact, and feel just like us. Did somebody say Westworld? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow me for more AI news, trends, and tutorials.
If they already talking about it, these flies already out here in action.
People reporting that they have seen many species of fish acting very erratically, and even worse, endangered sawfish have been found dead.
So what could be causing all this? Local 10's Louis Aguirre traveled to Big Pine Key to find out. Louis.
I can tell you that since December, FWC officers have been working with researchers and fishing guides and scientists from Florida Gulf Coast University testing and sampling these waters. But as of tonight, they are no closer to finding out why this is happening.
Get the dogs out. Something bizarre is happening to the fish in the lower Keys.
That's not something I've ever seen fish do. Ever.
Since December, 20 critically endangered small-tooth sawfish have been reported dead, according to the latest numbers from FWC.
This is a very large species, and the size of the sawfish we're seeing coming inshore and eventually dying.
And it's not just sawfish. More than a dozen species of all sizes, from pinfish to grouper, have been observed acting erratically, spinning, and clearly distressed. And longtime residents, like technical diver Greg Furstenworth, are very worried.
It's disturbing. If it keeps going like this, it's the end of an ecosystem as we know it.
The event seems to be centered between Cudjoe and Big Pine Key, but there have been sightings stretching from Key West to Marathon.
You can pretty much see it every single day until last Saturday.
You're seeing more and more species exhibit this behavior?
Yes.
But no one knows what's causing it. So far, early testing has ruled out red tide, low oxygen, disease, and other pathogens. But according to FWC, high levels of a toxic algae have been detected, though what it is still a mystery.
Right now, we do not have a smoking gun relative to a particular toxin that may be causing these issues.
Donna Hart, manager of Lower Keys Tackle, stresses so far this has only been documented inland and says offshore fishing has not been impacted.
I don't want people to be afraid to come and enjoy the Florida Keys and get out on the water and go fishing and go snorkeling. There's no impact whatsoever beyond our near shore waters that I'm aware of right now.
But scientists remain baffled.
We don't know if this is just a preamble, if this is going to get a lot worse. We don't know if it's going to spread to other areas. We have no idea, right? I really do think we need to get on top of this.
Yeah, very troubling indeed. So far, there does not appear to be any human impact from either contact with the water or ingesting affected seafood. However, FWC is stressing that if anyone catches a fish that appears to be behaving erratically or bizarrely, do not eat it, do not consume it, contact FWC.
Seem like some kind of electromagnetic frequency messing with those fish, because it's weird to happen towards the coast and not out further in the sea.
Bruh, what kind of... Get this chicken. This that snatcher mix. You know you want it. Come get it. Come get it. I don't know what in the world you are, but we gonna get you out this water. Somebody let me know, what is this? It's half turtle, half, I don't know what the fish snapper, boy. You move too quick. You watch out there now. I like that chicken though.
She's so thirsty, look. I know he looks like he wants to bite me, but I'm just saying that he's thirsty.
Ma! Come outside, there's a fucking moose! Or a buffalo or some shit, they're fighting!
Hey, that deer sure making that snake look good. He over there chomping like some beef jerky.
Some of the strangest things that go on anywhere in the country go on here, in the Appalachian Mountain Range. The Appalachian Mountain Range is vast. You can see how it goes from the southeastern United States all the way up north, past Canada and Newfoundland. Like I said, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of weird stuff that happens in that mountain range. The world famous Mothman is in that area. Oh yeah, they get their share of Bigfoot sightings there too. Skinwalkers are seen there. Skinwalkers. And let's not forget that area is home to the Bell Witch. But what I want to talk about is something thousands of people have seen and hundreds of people have gotten video and photographs of. The Brown Mountain Lights. Yeah, mysterious lights that just pop up in the sky in those very same Appalachian Mountain Range. And like I said, there aren't just dozens. There are hundreds of pictures of these lights all over the internet if you want to look for them. The Appalachian Mountain Range, which includes the Appalachian Trail, has a lot a lot of different stories, legends, myths, if you want to call it that, of paranormal and strange activity. Look, something is going on there. What it is, I don't know. But I'm not taking a stroll in my pajamas at 2 a.m. I'll tell you that. Okay, Shabadoo Bushkis, Shabadoo.
They try to turn Kanye into a media puppet. Y'all didn't believe in Kanye. Bet y'all do now. This is for educational purposes only. Run that video, comment below.
There's a person, they can insert comments at will. They can insert comments that they want to get you. Let me tell you something. This is something that Zane denounced that I know for a fact. The game Angry Birds has a motion like this. And if you remember, girls are just not known for playing a lot of video games. This game is popular with girls. It was a scientific calculation that this set off certain dopamine specifically in the female mind. What else go like this? Tinder. What else? Instagram. But so the funny thing is the people that control that, rappers tell me, I got so big. Instagram got so big. Instagram got so big. Like, I'm sorry, I know my Christian scorecard went down a profane piece of language. You ain't got no Instagram, yeah, all y'all. And they gonna do it for the gram before they do it. They gonna send a picture to the gram before they send it to you. Social media doing more to hurt families than it is to help families, and families are the key to help.
A lot of people don't like Kanye, but he be speaking some truth. I just think his passion be sending him over the deep end sometimes. The media can take a saint and make him look like the devil.
Hey, listen, this is so important, y'all. Real quick. I've been doing some studying, and let me flip this camera around. Okay, so I typed this out because I really wanted y'all to see that this is not something that I'm just coming up with. This is the beginning of the curriculum that I started, the power of words, shaping our reality and positive thinking. Intro, impact, reprogram, and creating positive reality. But I got to get to something because I just feel the need to tell you this right now. The word children, children. Children is made from two words, children, to chill something. Chill means unpleasant or even to or frightened so, okay? So just that word beginning, chill, unpleasant. Why would we want to call our Ren, the angels that came through us, anything that has to do with something being unpleasant or frightening? Ren, now this is the thing, in English language, English grammar, Ren is not found. You have to look in the Eastern languages to find Ren, which means the untarnished, perfect, clean, good, benevolent, loving nature of a zygote. A zygote is what the spirit or Ren flows into at the time of creation of birth. This is an Egyptian word. So when we call in our children, we're calling them a chilled Ren, an unpleasant or frightened spirit. So for Ren, the Ren did not belong to the man, but came out of the celestial waters to enter an infant in the hour of his birth and might not stir again until it was time to go back. A Ren, you guys, is a hot spirit. That's why they want to chill our Ren. And if you keep going down, the word kid came from the word kidling, which also means killing. Kid is not a native English word. It is early borrowed from Old Norse kid, which means young goat. And its descendants can still be found in modern Scandinavian languages. Killing, literally kidling, in Swedish also meaning young goat. This term has been used in reference to children only. This is a word they gave us to call our offspring, to call out an animal spirit in them, to kill their spirit, to chill their spirit, y'all. And even the word baby. The word baby is a word that is used as a pet name for animals. They're using these animal spirits in our Ren, and we have to change our language if we want to make a difference. Peace and love.
Words are spells, so you definitely should be careful of what you speak.
Morbid Facts, Part 216. In 1980, a dingo kidnapped and killed an Australian couple's baby while they were camping, causing the mother to be sentenced to life in prison for murder because no one believed her story. But 3 years later, the clothes of the baby were found near a dingo den and the woman was exonerated. Boston Corbett, the man who killed John Wilkes Booth, later castrated himself with a pair of scissors to avoid the temptation of prostitutes. The smell of a freshly cut lawn is actually a chemical distress signal released by the grass as it's being cut. In other words, you're smelling the screaming souls of the innocent. There's an extremely rare condition called Stoneman syndrome that causes muscles and tissues to slowly regrow into bone. People affected by this illness slowly turn into living statues as they get older. It's the only known medical condition that causes one organ system to literally change into another, and it has no cure or treatment options. Adult patients eventually have to decide on what position they wish to take for the rest of their lives, either lying down or sitting up.
Y'all remember this little doll? Somebody told me to take the head of it off, so that's what we're about to do. It's all in real time. I have not done this yet. I don't even know if it'll even come off. Are you kidding me, dude? That thing is stuck in there, dude. Okay. Alright. Y'all are seeing this the first time with me. What? Okay, I mean, we know what the... Anybody know what these symbols mean? Anybody? You will be. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay, so here we got the little silver bar, United Nations pin.
Now, why would you pop the head off and read that note? Now he cursed for life.
Breaking news, you guys. The United States infertility rate is at an all-time low. It's even surpassed France. Remember when I told you Europe was having trouble with conceiving children? They haven't had children in a few months. Well, United States surpassed them, y'all. They're even talking about in a few years, deaths are projected to surpass births. Check this out.
Okay? We got a problem. And it's all something almost no one here ever talks about. We're not having children. United States fertility rates have collapsed. This number's wrong. It's our latest number for last year is not 1.64, it's 1.63. France has a higher fertility rate than the United States. Even when you adjust for their immigration population, they still have a dramatically higher fertility. Most of Western Europe looks like us, and we're worse than a whole bunch of the world. How do you and I set public policy so 25 years from now, remember, Social Security is substantially a pay-as-you-go system. Today's workers are functionally paying for today's retirees. The trust fund was the shock absorber. Trust fund is disappearing. But my future generation of workers is going to be smaller, and you're already seeing this in school districts all over America where the number of students they have are shrinking.
I showed y'all that.
Are we willing to have the really interesting discussion of, okay, are there things we could do economically to make it so family formation, so there's more children? There's things we could do to help, but almost every country it's tried has not been able to change fertility rates. I think in Hungary, I think I saw something that, third child, they buy you a house, fourth child, you get some sort of like prize, and it's barely ticked up their fertility rates. It's a really difficult question, happening all over the industrialized world. So if you can't really change it, do you actually build public policy to deal with it? Do you accept the fact that we're going to have a lot more automation? It means capital investment. Are we going to have to find ways to safely adopt artificial intelligence into society so the labor force is maximized in its value and what they earn and productivity? Those are policies we need to work on. you've seen the intellectual capital of the conversations we have on the floor here. How many of them are ready to actually have the reality of, hey, we need to set policy. Is this Republican or Democrat? It's demographics. It's life. And I'm going to bounce through the next two boards because there's a punchline here we need to absorb. This is a little uncomfortable, but this was deaths that are projected to exceed births. And the new math in 15 years, you got to understand what a big deal this is. I came behind this microphone a couple years ago, and I got some real crap that was sent to my office. And I think at that time I was saying, hey, in 21, 22 years, we're going to have more deaths than births in this country. And then it became 18 years. And then it became 17 years. The new math now is 15 years. In 15 years, the United States will have more deaths than births. The blip you see here is the pandemic. But if you actually look at the line, you can sort of understand, and here's our crossing. Somewhere before, a little before 2040, which is 15 years, we have more deaths than births.
So the United States infertility rate is at an all-time low and is beating parts of Europe. Alabama just stopped IVF and fertility treatments, and people are noticing that there are less and less children in schools, you guys. Do you guys see what's going on in this world? Could this be the reason why there's a lot of migrants coming into the United States to make it seem like there's a lot more people than there really are?
He on here talking about statistics, then he making the higher ups realize they plan is working.